Hi Sheetal, I'm Tanya and I'm the evaluator for your video titled Who Am I? Before I move on to the formal set of evaluations to tell you about the areas wherein you excelled as a speaker and the areas where you could have been better or where there is scope for further improvement, let me first thank you for sharing such a delightfully pleasurable piece with us. It was a sheer pleasure listening to what you had to tell about yourself, and we highly appreciate your effort. Now, getting back to the evaluations, there were three main areas or sections in a speech that basically any evaluator assesses you on. First is how beautifully did the start or the header of the speech set the premise. Second is how contentfully rich and apt the body was. And third is how beautifully did the conclusion tie everything up to tell the listener what exactly is it that the speaker wishes you to consider or wishes you to do or act upon. With respect to your video or your speech, the first part was impeccably great. The way you started it with a story grabbed my interest like this. And that happened because we as human beings are psychologically driven towards stories. We tend to see everything as stories and we tend to tell everything as stories. Stories basically impact us the most. So your story also impacted me as a listener. And why it impacted me more was because it was contextually relevant to your plot. Your story talked about some form of God talking to a woman either in hell or heaven, I don't quite remember, asking her who you are and not getting satisfied with any answer that basically told about the marital status of the woman or anything to do with her materialistic world. So the God was basically trying to make her consider or comprehend who she really was. And so you also considered that question and pulled it back beautifully to the body wherein you yourself started considering who you are. Now, I really loved in the body of your speech the way you did the transitions. They were really lucid, moving on from your parents to your extended parents, to your husband, to yourself, and finally to the people who you basically wish to serve. It was all great, but there was one thing in particular that distracted me, and that was the disconnect, the missing link. And why I say is because I understand that you wish to make your parents proud. Understand that you're evolving yourself and your relationship with your husband. And I also understand that you wish to help billions and billions of people. But what I don't understand is how all of this is linked. I'm sure there must be a link, but I'm also very sure by the fact that that link was not evident in your video or your speech. Again, the how part was missing throughout your video. You told somewhere in the video that you're an entrepreneur, but you didn't tell what kind of an entrepreneur you are. You said you're skilling people up, you're helping people up in getting better jobs, but I don't know if you are an HR professional or you are a businesswoman who has her own business, who's employing people. How is it that you're basically helping people? Are you teaching them, training them? So as a listener, I got a little confused trying to find out what is it that you actually do to help people. Second, how that was missing was you reiterated throughout the video that your main goal is to help billions and billions of people, which is a great altruistic thing to consider. You did not quite tell us how you basically were going to help them. So I'm convinced with your idea and your goal, and I appreciate it highly, but I don't quite get, as a listener, what is it that you're going to do? How are you going to implement it? There was a lack of examples and stories in your speech, which actually made it a monologue. You could have started with your childhood and told us a little about how you became so altruistic. Was it the loss of something in your life, or the lack of something in your life, or something that you saw happening to people because of which you started believing that helping people was the best thing to do, or everybody needs to have a specific standard in life? And then you could have told us about what is it that you now wish to do, how you're not satisfied with what you already have done, and now you wish to move on to better things to help billions and appeal billions of people the way you told. And then finally uh, get give us some kind of hint, if not a complete plan, on how you believe you could do that by either giving them and access to educational mechanisms using which they will be better equipped to deal with the world and move on to a better standard of life, or help them grow better seeds in their fields, sorry, grow better crops in their fields using better seeds, something, some kind of game plan. So that was missing. The conclusion was beautiful, and the way you did it with the line by I don't remember the name of the author. So Ishwaran. So Vijay Ishwaran. So his lines that we at the end of the day we have one life and we are nothing but a pair of slippers. That was great. That was a great way to motivate the listener. I as a listener do believe in this philosophy, and you strengthened it. But again, if you could have given us more reason to believe that you were going to do what you are so happy to have as a target, it would have made more impact. With respect to the power, the pitch, and pronunciation, and the way your speech was delivered, it was great. I loved your vocal variety. I loved the organization of the speech, except for the very fact that it missed the house. And I also loved your expressions, the way you enforced your idea. All in all, a great effort. I would wish you to speak more and to keep on building yourself as a speaker. Best of luck.